Thank you very much. Mr. Ahmedinejad and Mussawi, please.
In the name of God, the compassionate and merciful, I would like to thank honorable viewers, and very good points were made. And I'm going to just discuss them and give my answers in a methodological manner. First of all, I really wish that Mr. Ahmedinejad had succeeded in his endeavors and I wouldn't touch the problems. If I had this conviction, then definitely I would deem it necessary not to enter into the race. I'll make few points and then I'll talk about the main points. Mr. Hashemi Rafsanjani and Mr. Khatami are great figures, and they have to participate in a debate with Mr. Ahmedinejad and give answer to his points. I entered the race because I felt the danger. In fact, I'm not going to touch the era of Mr. Khatami and Mr. Rafsanjani. During the 4 years he's talking about is when I was in power during the lifetime of Imam Khomeini, and if necessary I will give answer to his points. Overall, I have always loved Iran. And I think that this love is inherent in all of us. I cannot find any Iranian, I think, not to be honored to be an Iranian and wouldn't be concerned about the future of Iran, or not to be concerned about the difficulties and problems. All want Iran to be great and prosperous. I wished Iran to play a role as the first power in the region in economic affairs, scientific areas and other fields. So the revolution was in fact launched in order to have a great Islamic Iran, to have an influential Iran, to be able to leave an impact on the world and import its message to the world. But in solving the problems of the country, and in order to achieve the proper place, in our proper place, I think that there are two ways. There can be two managements, in the method of managements in this regard. One is on the basis of adventurism and instability and exhibitionism and raising slogans, imaginative moves, and also superstition on the basis of selfishness, self-centeredness, and not abiding by the rule of law, and also on the basis of going to the extremes. So I'm going to just forward my discussion on the basis of this framework. Okay, another method is very logical and professional moves away from superstition, and also on the basis of veracity, faithfulness, relying on the collective wisdom and being futuristic, and also on the basis of moderation. If we want to have a powerful Iran, I think that the second method is more suitable. We have to move on the basis of the second methodology or method. Indeed, you talked about the plans, my plans. I have written my plans and programs, and I think I have 3 debates which people like to just watch, and I think the debates are complementary to each other, contrary to Mr. Ahmedinejad's viewpoint, because I'll offer my viewpoints during the debates. What is important in this debate is the main incentive for me to enter the race. As a matter of fact, I'm concerned about the future of the country because of the present management of the country. And since you start about the foreign policy, let me touch the foreign policy first, and then I will touch the economic, cultural, and social affairs. One of the main problems we are facing, I will just discuss them case by case so that it will be tangible for all. I'm not going to just talk in general terms. I will give you examples. One of the problems is incompatibility between the slogans and practice. The slogans are away from principles. They are imaginary indeed. You know, when we say that for so and so country is collapsing and we are going to manage the world, these are slogans, and there is no practical backing. Let me give you an example, a few examples indeed. You know, the release of the British Marines. You know, the Marines invaded or encroached upon Iranian waters, and then the forces arrested them. It was a great job and should be acknowledged indeed. But immediately on the basis of the framework I mentioned, in the first place we said that we have to execute them. Why they have encroached upon Iranian territorial waters, and we created a crisis. And then we decided to give them suits to wear, and then our president, whose status doesn't belong to himself, it belongs to the people, it belonged to you. And then he went there and he saw them off, and then said goodbye to them, and then arranged a ceremony that we don't even organize for the heads of other countries. And did it really preserve the dignity of our nation? I don't think so. It inflicted a loss, and indeed it undermined the dignity of the Iranian nation, and it created some ups and downs in our foreign policy, and with the cost we pay, we cannot solve our problems. And then the head of the government had a trip to Iraq without clarifying. Then how he said that they are going to kidnap me. So if they're going to kidnap you, probably the Americans should kidnap you. The Americans, in fact, provided the fuel of the aeroplane that you traveled with. And then in Iraq, we went to Khazra, which is controlled by the Americans, and then you had the meeting over there, and then we had photos with the American soldiers, and the same event happened in Italy, and we said that we are going to kidnap us. So should we expand our imaginations to the extent that it would just influence our foreign policy, which is within the realm of our national interest? Should we solve our problems, or should we create some problems so that it inflicts loss on us? And then it's the issue of Saudi Arabia. So I have heard from others, and it has been a number of times. In the past, I was in power. It is very important how we are invited to other countries, and then we gave message to them to invite us to go to Saudi Arabia. And then the friends who are in the foreign ministry have said, and I quote them regarding our demand for being invited to go to Saudi Arabia, and then when we go, there should be some result out of these visits. And then one of the results is the situation that our pilgrims face, and our relations with Saudi Arabia. And then quoting the head of that country, we talked something against the foreign minister of that country, and then we created some problems in our relations. Why should we impose this cost? Who is going to pay those costs? And are they really very heavy or not? And then a number of times we have heard that we believe that the United States is collapsing. If it is so, why we have traveled there 4 times? Why we have written 2 letters? Why continuously we are after just in a specific manner? The Swiss president has gone there and spoken in the parliament, and I think he wouldn't take a risk to lie, saying that he has been asked to give a message to Obama to talk to us before the elections, and to somehow solve the problems in the relations between the 2 countries.